Welcome to our first episode, For the Health of It, brought to you by Healthcare Australia, where we have conversations with everyone in the healthcare industry. This 6-episode series is all about working and living in Australia as an international nurse. So today we actually have Casey and Lauren, both from the international team. Casey is the international team leader who joined Healthcare Australia in 2011. So she's actually had a lot of experience working within the healthcare department. She also worked in London for 12 months, which means that she knows a lot about the work and holiday visas, and the perfect person to go to if you have any questions around coming to Australia. We also have Lauren here. Lauren is Scottish, and she is a trained acute registered nurse. So she has some inside knowledge around the healthcare industry, and she has been since 2018. So she arrived in Brisbane and has travelled most of Australia. So she's seen the sites. She understands where to go and where not to go in Australia, and has worked across 3 states as a nurse as well with HCA. So she understands who we are. She understands what Australia is, and she'll be the perfect person again to go to ask any questions around healthcare. So hello, guys.
Hi.
Hi. So keen to know first, Casey, tell us a little bit about the Healthcare Australia International team. Who are you guys? What do you do?
So we have offices located in New Zealand and the UK, and we are about to open up offices in Canada and Ireland this month, which is really exciting. Our teams assist our nurses from start to finish, and then we also have a team located in Australia for support once you arrive as well. So they can help with visa advice, getting registered with AHPRA, which is the nursing board in Australia, discuss work opportunities, and hold your hand throughout the whole process basically, and give you all the travel advice and accommodation advice and everything in between. So
they basically get the full package basically. Awesome.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes our team are speaking with nurses 12 to 24 months before they head out. So we feel like, we're best friends by the time they get here.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. Awesome. And Lauren, obviously you came over to Australia from Scotland. How was it for you in terms of the process of coming over? Did you find it quite difficult, or was it quite easy with the HCA way?
I think that it can seem a bit overwhelming initially when people start looking at the process, because you feel you've got millions of things to do. So the one benefit about having the support of Healthcare Australia when I moved over was I had somebody to chat to that could easily guide me through that process. So yeah, coming over to Australia, I think especially as a solo traveller as well, I suppose you have these a million questions and what kind of support you want. So I think with us as a team, so you've got Kirby and you've got myself, so I'm really appointed to the role, but a lot of girls probably have met Kirby before, but we can help you things from travel guides to support networks and everything else in between, as Casey had kindly pointed out. And we're advocates for you as well. So going into new healthcare systems can be a bit daunting. So we're here just to kind of help you with that as well. So don't ever be a stranger. And
in terms of, the process of applying as a nurse to come over to Australia, how long did it take you to make that step from applying to actually come over?
So I'd left everything to the last minute, ever so slightly. So if I can give any piece of advice to any nurses or anybody that's coming over, always try and be a bit prepared, purely just because with regards to AHPRA, that can take a few months. Yep. And even just once that ball starts rolling with your visas, with booking your flights and everything else in between that, I came to Australia without my AHPRA. So again, I just give advice if they want to be prepared, then probably start a bit sooner rather than later.
Yeah, fair enough.
We always kind of say it's never too early to get in touch, even if it's, a 12-month plan, because your personal consultant overseas, in the country that you're located in, they can help you put a little plan together of, say, 6 months before a plan. At this time, book your flight. At this time, apply for your visa, so they can really put a little plan in place for you.
Oh, awesome. And when you first came over, Lauren, obviously there was lots of opportunities to come over and do different types of work. I know that obviously Healthcare Australia offers a lot of agency, perm, rural, travel nursing and rural remote. What did you tend to go for when you first came over?
So I'm a general surgery nurse.
Yep.
So I done the agency route first of all. And then I was very lucky to find myself in a placement through Healthcare Australia, and I went for permanency. So I've had that opportunity. I think when you are coming to new places, especially to Australia, to kind of know where to base yourself, it's kind of maybe nice to try different areas.
Yep.
But then again, that other side of that is that if you're unsure or maybe a bit less confident, then we do block bookings. So again, that can give you ground in a country that's new and a healthcare system that's new as well.
Yeah.
So there's two ways to look at that.
Awesome. And obviously, Casey, the opportunity of transferring states is part of what HCA offers as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, so we are a national company, so we try and make it as simple as possible to transfer between the states to give you that flexibility and variety. And the international team can help you organise the transfer. Your APRA actually covers you to work Australia-wide.
Yep.
So as long as you've got your APRA PIN, you can work in any state. So we have the travel nurse agreements and we have the rural and remote contracts as well. So that's within agency. And then we have plenty of permanent opportunities available in Australia too.
Awesome. So question to you as well, Lauren, is obviously when you first came over to Australia, what was the best thing that you really enjoyed about Australia when you first came over?
I suppose it was the sunshine coming from Scotland. That was definitely a bonus.
Yeah.
But I think just that experience of, I suppose, just meeting other travellers and seeing the places that I've seen. So I've travelled around Queensland, New South Wales. I was in Melbourne, and I'm now in WA. So I think it's experiencing all parts of Australia that they're so different in a beautiful way as well.
Yeah.
So I think it's that connection. So to never necessarily write different experiences off, just be open, because with regards to Australia, I think that it's so culturally diverse. The Australian culture can reach from every part of it is so different, including your Indigenous culture as well. So I've been very lucky to experience that as well. The endless sunny days in Brisbane, to the wet and dry seasons in the north, to the 4 seasons in one day in Melbourne. So,
well, tell me about it. We're in Melbourne now, and I came from the UK and actually came here to get away from the cold, but unfortunately, it's caught up with me. So yeah. So Lauren, tell us a little bit about your experience working as an RN in Australia, particularly with obviously Healthcare Australia.
I think the benefit of working for an agency like Healthcare Australia is the flexibility to basically pick shifts when you so if you've got your travel plans or you're planning to base yourself in a city at some point, you're able to have that flexibility. And as I say, it's a good way to top up the travel funds if you're traveling around. We do offer block bookings and things as well. So if you wanted to have, say, a certain period of time in one area, that's another option as well. As we said, many incentives. I had the opportunity of doing a working holiday to permanency. So again, those options are there if you're like me and you don't want to go home. And I think what I did find the probably big main differences were the good working conditions. So with regards to nurse-patient ratio, they are significantly less. The better options for work progression. So I found that, the opportunities that I've experienced, I've been able to move into other jobs. One of the jobs I moved into permanency was in ANUM, which is an associate nurse manager. So again, that was pretty cool, a good experience. I do find that as well, having the support of an international team, so they can guide you along the way. We've been here, we've done it before. We know what's, especially coming from, I suppose, from my experience, been there and done the same for you, how tricky it can be. What I've also found is clinical things. So again, nurses reach out. Nursing, I feel, is fundamentally the same wherever you go in the world, but there will be differences, machines, medications. So, there's tips can get you a long way. So don't be a stranger and just reach out.
Yeah, but I think the main thing is just, if they don't know, just to ask questions, and everything's going to be slightly different.
1,000,000%.
Yeah. You
don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
So
in your experience, Lauren, what do you prefer in Australia? Do you prefer the beaches? Do you prefer being in the country? What is your favourite part of, being in Australia?
Oh, do you know, as I say, I've experienced so many different places, and just they're also beautiful in their own way. Just driven recently from Melbourne to Perth across the Nullarbor, and that was on the outback camping, yeah, that was pretty fantastic, sleeping under the stars. So again, it's a bit different than what you think Bondi Beach or Bondi Rescue would be.
Yeah.
So getting out bush, that's it. So
fair enough. And have you got any of your favorite memories of actually your experiences of travel in Australia? Have you got anything amazing that you're like, oh my God, I want to go back there and do that again?
I think that I remember coming to Australia first of all, and I went to Brisbane.
Yep.
So again, new city, there was just so much to explore. And then went to Cairns, and that was for me one of the best experiences as well.
Nice.
That I had. It's just so different. Diving the Great Barrier Reef, it's just beautiful up there. Even New South Wales, I went to the Royal National Park down Sydney, and the Blue Mountains, just incredible. Never seen anything like that before, and it's just a little piece of paradise in Australia. And again, you've got different parts all over. Melbourne, you're very spoilt there for your hill walks again and your camping, and then Western Australia, you've got your amazing coastline here. You've got Rottnest Island, you've got the land of the quokkas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. And obviously, you can travel while you work as well with Healthcare Australia. What are some of the incentives that Healthcare Australia offered you, Lauren, in terms of when you were traveling and working at the same time?
So you do get your free flight options. So if you work, it's your 500 hours. Then in 6-month period, then you are entitled to your reimbursement of your flight up to $1,000. Your cash for hours bonus. So if you work 500 hours, you get a nice, lovely top up of your travel fund of $500. And then depending if you do with different types of incentives, if you do decide to go rural and remote, you do get heavily subsidised accommodation, if not free, and also 6-week placement, then you do get your free travel there as well. So there's so many different options. I don't know if you can have any other options as well, Casey, that you can add to that.
We've got amazing opportunity travel nurse agreements at the moment. So we've got 3 and 6 month bookings, but there's always new things coming in. So just touch base with your personal consultant closer to your arrival time. We can let you know what's going on at that time.
Perfect. Awesome. And final words from any of you guys in terms of, if there's any potential candidates out there across the world that is looking to come to Australia and wants to work with Healthcare Australia, any sort of advice or wisdom that you would like to give them?
I think my biggest piece of advice is just put yourself out there. We have a working holiday nurses group. So it's called Working Holiday Nurses Down Under. So jump in there, put a post out, say, I'm thinking about it, or I've just arrived. And there's so many nurses in there that have been in your situation. So it's a really good support network to have. When I was making my decision to do the working holiday visa in London, I just thought, the worst thing that can happen is I just go home, and at least I can say that I've tried it. So
exactly, and we understand it's going to be slightly daunting, but the good thing is obviously Healthcare Australia assists you through the process, assists you with being able to travel as well as work at the same time.
I think my biggest thing as well is don't be a stranger with us, and like you're combating your homesickness. So I think that I found that it's kind of went over the time I have been here. That you will have these moments of feeling these homesickness, and that's normal. But again, it's just that connection with your family. And I always remember the funniest story I found when I came to Australia was going down the international aisle and finding a tin of Iron Brew and these kind of things that are native to home. And again, it's just like kind of having a realization that you are an international. Sounds a bit silly, but again, it's just making sure you're having that connection, like kind of put yourself out in the community. There's different groups. I remember even joining like kind of sporting groups with people that are from home, so there's different ways, and never write off a destination as well. Yeah,
fair enough. Awesome. Well, thank you very much, guys. I think that's pretty much it for our first episode at For the Health of It. Thank you for being the guests today, and we look forward to speaking to you guys again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. And thank you for tuning in to our first episode. And remember to join us next time, just for the health of it.